Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for staying with us. Now, joining me is, well, to react to NSIB report, which indicted Air Peace pilots and crew of alcohol and drug use when aircraft overshot the runway in Port Harcourt. Well, I have David Bernard, he's Air Peace co-pilot, and Maduneme Victory, Air Peace cabin crew. Thank you very much for joining us on News Night. Let me start with you, the co-pilot. I mean, give us your own account. I believe you've read NSIB report, and from all indication, you're aware of the results of this report. Give us an account of the events, you know, that led to this test that was carried out on yourself and, of course, the Air Peace cabin crew member. Mr. Bernard?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is David.
Right, David Bernard, right?
Yes.
Great, great.
Okay, the incident happened on the 13th of July 2025. And we had a flight from Lagos to Port Harcourt, and coming into Port Harcourt, we were clear for the approach, and my captain, who was flying, was the pilot monitoring that day. It was a good weather and good visibility, everything going well and smooth until 500 feet when the captain disconnected the autopilot to manually fly the plane for the approach. So as he disconnected the autopilot at 500 feet, he was becoming high on the approach. I advised him that, Commander, you are high for this approach. We should initiate a go-around. And he didn't listen to me. And on the PAPI, which is a precision approach path indicator, it's a light which is close to the runway that gives you information on how high or how low you are from the runway. And I was looking at him at what he was doing and also looking outside at the runway, and he was getting high on the approach. I told you, Commander, you are high, go around. He didn't listen to me. I said it again several times. He didn't listen to me. And he continued the approach. We crossed the runway at about 200 feet. That's the threshold. We came to land just after the middle of the runway, and he was so reluctant to use the reversers. That's the reverse thrust, which I had to, you know, use the reverse thrust myself and manually bring the plane to a stop by myself.
Right, if I can come in here very quickly,
we
if you
ended
can
up
hear
on
me. Open the port, please, so I can have a conversation with him. Now, you say that it looks like there were reasons why you were concerned that the pilot was not doing what he was expected to do, and you were concerned. You warned him a couple of times without any response, and you had to intervene. Why was there a reason for, I mean, why were you concerned that there was something amiss? What did you notice?
I noticed that the approach wasn't stable.
Right.
And he wasn't, so we have an indication inside the cockpit on our system that tells us if we are high or low. And then he wasn't following the ILS, which is an instrument landing system that we normally use. I can't hear myself again. Okay,
let me bring in Victoria. There's a crew member there who is said to have been, you know, well, tested for marijuana, that marijuana traces were found in your test samples. Tell us also about that. And ordinarily, crew members, pilots, allowed to maybe take alcohol, marijuana, or any substance that could, you know, bend their faculties, their reasoning ordinarily. Is that allowed at all, whether Air Peace or aviation generally? Just tell us what you know.
Okay, thank you for having me. My name is Victory Maduneme.
Right.
And to answer your question, you know, a cabin crew or in aviation thoroughly, nobody is supposed to take alcohol or any drug at all before coming for a flight. So going forward to the question you asked, on the 13th of July, after we had landed, which was the day of the incident, after we had landed and we had to wait for NSIB to come on board. Then they came, started their investigation, and 5 hours later, they asked us to come into a room for them to do a test. So we all went into the room, and our blood samples were taken, and our urine were also taken. So, and normally, when those kind of tests is done, immediately after a drug test and an alcohol test, you're supposed to get your result within few hours or few minutes, right? But this was not given to us that day. Then 2 weeks later, 10 days later, which was on the 23rd, if I'm mistaken, sorry, on the 6th, I was called by NCA to come and pick up a letter. Then I went to NCA in Lagos, and I opened the letter and I was in utter shock to see what was in my result actually. So I went to go and see the doctor, and the doctor said, I told the doctor that I'm very shocked to see this in my results, and it's not possible for me to have this in my system. So he asked me I should go back and come back in 7 days replying their letter. But I didn't wait for the 7 days. I had to respond, which is on the 7th. I sent most of the documents to you. So I replied the letter back to them on the 7th. And they didn't get back to me until on the date. They got back to me on the 27th that I should come to the office. I went to the office and I was handed a letter, and the letter says I should do a reconfirmatory test, which I accepted to do. And they sent me to go and meet a Dr. Adetunji of Cooper Aerospace Clinic, which is the licensed clinic for this kind of test. Then when I went to go and meet the doctor, and he came to see me, then he asked me that marijuana usually stays in the system for 90 days. That if I had something like this, that he's advising me that I should go back, then come back later when I feel like everything has cleared from my system. I was like, no. If I go back and come back later, it actually proves that, yes, I have this kind of thing in my system, that I want to do the test. Which the test was done to me, and everything came out negative. So, and there's a question I need to ask NSIB. If marijuana was found in my system, were they not supposed to tell this to my airline, and they're supposed to stop me from flying? Why? Because I'm a risk to the passengers on board, and my license would have been taken away from me. But no, they didn't inform them of this till after two months. This is like the 2nd month, and it's just coming out, and they're spoiling the image of the airline. I sent a copy of my results to you. Everything is there. Everything was clear. If marijuana was supposed to stay in the system for 90 days, this thing was done within a month. I did my test within a month. You can check it. And nothing was found in my system. If NSIB have a smearing campaign against the airline, they should keep the innocent people away from this. If not for the kindness of my chairman, they would have sacked me and blacklisted me. And once that is done, no airline in the world, I repeat, no airline in the world will pick me, because now they've painted me as this person that has drug in her system. This is really very bad.
Okay, let me,
And in the next 72 hours, if NIB do not come and reiterate whatever they have said against me, then I think we should sue. This is really very bad.
Right.
This is pure defamation of character.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Let me bring in David Bernard, the co-pilot in that on that aircraft. I mean, listening to Victory Maduneme, she believes that there might be some underlying undercurrents going on, probably an attempt to smear the image of the airline. Do you have cause to believe that there's any such project going on? And I'd also like to ask, ordinarily, do you take alcohol at all? And if you do, at what point before you go, fly an aircraft? I mean, what's the duration in terms of, because I hear 8 hours before flying. But ordinarily, do you take alcohol? Just help us understand, what could have happened that, would have led NSIB to actually discover, even in the littlest amount, trace of alcohol in your blood or urine.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I don't take alcohol or take any drugs or whatever. I don't drink. And second of all, we're in 2025. I mean, if you're trying to do an alcohol and blood test, we have something called a breathalyzer where you have to do your test right there. You blow in your breath into the breathalyzer. It checks in the amount of alcohol in your system. And then, but these guys at the Port Harcourt airport, they took our blood sample and our urine on the 13th. And then they are coming back on the 23rd of July for the results. I mean, how long does it take for a results to be out?
That's 10 days.
And then second of all, a blood test doesn't even make no sense. I mean, we're in 2025. And then we paid a lot of money for this flying school and type rating. You can't just jeopardize somebody's image. And then telling me I take alcohol and then I don't see it in your presence, you take the test out into non-aviation recognized hospital. So it doesn't just make no sense at all. And I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do no alcohol.
Right. Before I let you go, how frequently these tests carried out? How much of a routine is it? How frequently does NSIB carry out these tests to ensure that pilots, crew members are not under the influence of alcohol or any kind of psychotropic drug? Dr. Bernard.
I don't know about NSIB, but...
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, I don't know about NSIB, but this drug and alcohol test is a random checks that our company do to crew members. So you don't just know it, you can randomly be checked, if you're reporting for duty. And then you're not supposed to have 0.02 grams of alcohol in your blood, and you're not supposed to take alcohol 8 hours before reporting on duty or on standby.
All right, thank you very much, David Bernard, Air Peace co-pilot on the said aircraft on July 13 that was said to have overrun the tarmac. And of course, Maduneme Victory is Air Peace cabin crew who, according to NSIB, was suspected to have traces of marijuana in her blood. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us your side of the story on Newsnight.
I think I would like to say something.
Okay, very quickly.
I want to say something, please.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, please. I don't know if our reports and our tests should be shown, because the world needs to see this, and NSIB needs to come and actually clear this thing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I think the world needs to, because they went out to go and say, we just woke up this morning and all this news they are flying around. I wish we should just post this, let the world see that this is our test results and nothing was really found in our system.
Right. Thank you very much, Maduneme.
These are all lies.
Right. Of course, NSIB will be given the opportunity to also respond to what you've had to say tonight.